Welcome to FriedonBusiness. He grew up in South Florida, has been in business here since the early 90s, and has closed over $3 billion in deals. He's seen it all. He always has an opinion, and he's always ready to share it. Informed, entertaining, and connected, he has his finger on the pulse of South Florida's business community. He's Jim Fried, and this is FriedonBusiness.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. We've got great property technology information. I want to thank Andreas Senni for putting this all together every month. We've got Jennifer Wolllmann and Saul Klein on as guests. We've got our regulars, Olivia Ramos, Rebecca Carlson, and Reagan Mendoza. And, of course, me, Jim Fried, your host. Here I am today. I apologize I don't have my branded look on because I don't have my glasses on. If I make a mistake today, it's because I can't read. All right, so let's get started. Reagan, take it away. We'll be right back with amazing property technology information that I know I'm using every day to make money. We'll talk about how my friends at the Realtors are putting it to good use too. Reagan, crank up the music. All right, everybody, we are South Florida's longest running business talk show. We've been on for like 13 years now. And since 2012, our sponsors have been Warren Henry Automotive. We love the folks over there. We sell cars for them. We sell service. But the most thing we sell is their brand, which is that everybody that goes there is treated like family. So when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry, Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar here at their new store on 151st and Biscayne. Up in Gainesville, they got a store that sells Audis. Down in the Keys, well, that store sells all their name brands. What do they have in common? Well, they're all great cars, and they come with the Warren Henry advantage. That's right. You've got to read this. There's so many good things. Complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, and 72-hour exchange. You can take 3 days to decide whether or not you like your Warren Henry car. I know you will. I got lots of friends that bought there. My mom, my wife, my beautiful wife, Vivian, even me. So join us as members of the Warren Henry family. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry. It's close to the year end, but we can still get deals done on both the residential and commercial side. On the residential side, we're closing both conforming and jumbo mortgages for people all over town. Just had a guy call me and says, hey, my Morgan Stanley loan fell through. Can you help? I said, sure I can. They go, can you take all our paperwork and start today? I said, sure I can. And guess what? I did. So we're helping also a foreigner, a Russian person who's bought their house. They actually built their house all cash. We're helping them pull out 50% of that money right now. It's not easy. If you think it is, just try yourself. Give me a call. We are closing loans. We know exactly who to call. Every loan is different and probably requires a different lender. So we know them. We've been doing it for over 50 years between me and my partners. Call us. And if you're looking to do a commercial deal, I'm doing bridge loans. We can still close by year end. What kind? Commercial, residential, hospitality even. Call me. We're talking about an industrial deal later today. 305-773-6300. Why call me? Because when you call me, it is always all about you.
Welcome back to FriedonBusiness. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Fried or at FriedonBusiness, and on Instagram at JimFried1. Now, back to your host, Jim Fried.
All right, we are on today. We're going to talk property technology. I think we have to have Marty Zayak on again to talk about Botox and the look for Zoom. Is that a property technology thing? What do you think, Rebecca? Huh? You like that? Maybe I can get some free stuff for Jennifer and get him to test Jennifer. Would you come on and do that? He did it for me once live. It was hilarious. All right, let's really talk about what really gets us going. It's making sure that you can connect with both buyers and sellers and other professionals, even when you're locked down or isolated because of COVID or something else. The technology's really evolved. My partner on the show today, Andre Seni, always makes sure that our monthly tech shows rock and roll today. He's got Saul Klein, who's the broker emeritus. Saul is the first. Are you the first ever real estate broker, Saul? And then we've got Jennifer Wolllmann on. She runs she's the president of the MIAMI Realtors. She's one of the top brokers down here in Miami. We're going to talk about how technology here, especially in Miami, is helping our brokers down here make a lot of money. So, Andres, take it away.
Thanks again, Jim. Always happy to put this together. What a great group we have today at the greatest time in the greatest country in the world. And in the middle of some of the biggest shifts in real estate that we've probably ever experienced, evolutions we've had to take as professionals, working remotely, contacting our clients. Joining us is Saul Klein, as you said, Realtor Emeritus, and the first realtor to post a listing online, Saul. And one of the part of the team with NAR that helped the Realtor Information Network and what is now today Realtor.com, and I'll let him get into that, as well as Chairman of the Board 2021, Jennifer Wolllmann, Miami Association of Realtors, who in my mind, the association that is lockstep tech enablement, what they do and how they do it. As always, Olivia and Rebecca, thank you again for coming. Biggest topic on my mind is to you, Saul. Zillow's becoming a broker. We've got these shifts in compensation. What's going on your side of the fence? Coming from residential, seeing the change happen there first, and now commercial, accelerating their technology. What do you see?
Yeah, we don't have enough time. Hey, but let me say, Jim, I got to call you. You reminded me of something. You made me think of getting a loan on a piece of property that I own. And that's kind of the spontaneity of participating in groups, right? You think of things that you haven't thought about. It's a rental property, but I want to talk to you about that. And Jennifer, talking about leading edge parts of the country. Teresa King Kinney was the CEO in Miami back when we launched Realtor.com in 1995. And the first site to go up was actually the San Diego MLS at the time, not with any permission. The person that had control of the listings in San Diego was displaying them on kiosks, and he interpreted his contract. It said electronic display. And he interpreted that as meaning this brand new thing called the World Wide Web. So with that example, we were able to then go to Austin, and I knew what the first question would be out of a board of directors, and that would be, who else is doing this? And San Diego was doing this, but calling me the whole time was Teresa, because Teresa wanted to be first. And she is just killer, and I've known her for a long time, and you guys are really lucky down there. She's so progressive, forward thinking. Anyway, where is it all going? You mentioned Zillow, but Zillow, I think I might have the sun shining down on me. Zillow is just kind of a manifestation of what's been going on for the last 25, 30 years in the real estate industry. And more recently, in the last 12 years with the medium, with the smartphone, because it's just amazing if you think about all the things we did with technology as it grew up to when we got this. And now this is, everybody's got this instant access. What are all the different things that can be done? How will it change business models? How will it, the panacea for all of these companies like Zillow is, and many companies, is to take the friction out of transactions. We see real estate being broken up into more distributed parts where you can take a piece of it and sell it to somebody else. Picasso was a spinoff of from Spencer Raskoff, who worked at Zillow, right? So you got all these different kinds of things. So what everybody's trying to do is figure out where everything's going and get there before everybody else gets there. There's a lot of money pouring into the industry. Here's the question that I think I failed to ask. I've been asking myself for a number of years, and that is, what is the job description of the real estate agent, of the mortgage loan officer? What is the job description and the skill sets required 5 years from now? So that's a great question for people to think about if we're trying to figure out what's Zillow doing, that'll lead us to some of these new business models. But people need to start asking themselves that, because we're seeing the friction being taken out of the transaction. We're seeing the information becoming so important. We're seeing the distribution of a lot of information. And how does that affect what the person who earns the living today, listing and selling, loaning, how does that affect them? What does their future look like? But that's the wrong question. The right question is, what will the consumer expectations, the consumer that borrows money, the consumer that lends money, the consumer that buys real estate, that sells real estate, that leases real estate, what are the expectations of the consumer 5 years from now? And knowing it's going to move a lot faster in the next 5 years than it's moved in the last 12 years, than it's moved in the last 25 years. And I can tell you, when I was selling real estate, there was no fax machine. The telephone was the technology. And so I've been able to watch this grow from telephone to pager to fax machine to email to websites to text to data to artificial intelligence to deep learning and by the way, don't think that a machine can't replace a lot of what people who today list and sell real estate or place loans do, because you'll be surprised it can. And so there's a real challenge for people in the industry today, I think, to ask that question: what's the consumer going to be looking for, and then figure out how to deliver that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Saul. Okay. So the reality is, I think what the consumer is going to be looking for is what the consumer is looking for everywhere, which is streamlining and one-stop shopping. And I think that that's what's starting to happen here. For instance, Compass recently bought Modus Title. It seems like these tech companies are slamming together. So, what I'd like to ask Jennifer is, what companies and what technologies are you seeing that need to be delivered to the realtors? And first of all, I want to thank you for coming on. And I've been a member of the Board of Realtors. I've gotten the folder, I've gotten the access. It's mind-blowing, the technology you throw at people. So thank you for that, Jennifer. What do you see coming down the pipe that excites you?
So one of the things that's super exciting is, as Saul was saying, what happened with Zillow is I think we're starting to see that more with commercial, where the commercial buyer wants to see more visibility. They want more transparency in the commercial transaction, because they are used to finding everything they want regarding residential properties online, right? So again, going back to what Saul had said about TK being a visionary, a couple of years ago, we were talking about how we can make our listings that are on our MLS system more visible, our commercial listings more visible. So MIAMI Realtors developed a commercial MLS and then made it a forward-facing, public-facing platform. But unlike Zillow, which becomes more of a lead lister and takes the information from the listing agent, our platform always shows the listing agent. So that goes to the transparency portion, right? So now a customer searches for South Florida commercial property. They see the listings online and they can click automatically to contact the listing agent. The listing agent, on the other hand, can go ahead and take their listing, and from that platform, they can go ahead and send that out on all of their social media. So that's what we're seeing. There's a lot of really exciting technology in the marketplace, especially as it relates to commercial. We seem to have lagged behind residential significantly, but there are all sorts of great products coming out, including what Olivia has developed for zoning properties. I mean, we worked with her. She's always a wonderful guest to have on with what her program does. So we've created a lot of relationships with companies like Olivia's, like Realtor, like Realist, all these companies that take the commercial transaction and make as much information as they can public.
what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break here. Then we're going to come back. We're going to talk about new ways to market your commercial property. I would like to get the feedback. We've been talking about different platforms. 10X has been out there. Auction.com evolved into 10X. They got rid of Google. They're still evolving and doing things. We'll talk a little bit about that. I also want to talk about how CRECo.ai can help you reach out and amplify your connections. We want to talk about the impact Deep Blocks is having. We also want to talk to Rebecca. So we'll be right back after this. Reagan, take it away. Everybody, we're South Florida's longest running business talk show. This is Freedom Business, and I'd like to thank our sponsors, Warren Henry Automotive, who've been with us since the summer of 2012. When you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry. Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar. Up in Gainesville, they sell Audis. Down in the Keys, they've got all their great nameplates. What do they have in common? Well, they all come with the Warren Henry advantage, besides being great cars. What's the Warren Henry advantage? Well, you get complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, and my favorite, the 72-hour exchange. You take 3 days to decide whether or not you like the car. You will. I know you will. Got all kinds of friends that buy their cars there. My mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian. So join us all. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry.
This is Becca Carlson from Carlson Integrated. You know, a lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. We are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
Look at her smile. Oh man, that's just the greatest commercial, you know. You don't even need to come on the show. All you got to do is play that commercial. It just rocks the house. Hey, I'm Jim Fried, and I do residential and commercial mortgages. I do investment sales too. Board of Realtors of Miami, tremendous join. Okay. I do mortgages with folks in town. A lot of the folks in my network doing mostly jumbo mortgages because they're so hard to do. Also doing some conforming loans as an accommodation to my friends. Give me a call at 305-773-6300. Mortgage rates are very low, historically low. The process is more than difficult. It's almost impossible. That's why maybe the rates are so low. But give me a call. Myself and my partners, we have 50 years of experience. I got another MBA besides myself that works on these things. We'll help you get it done. And we can still get it done this year if you call us right now. Bridge loans, that's what I was texting about just now. We've got 3 in process right now. 1 hopefully will close this month. Give me a call at 305-773-6300. Why? Because when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freedom Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Fried or at Freedom Business, and on Instagram at Jim Fried1. Now, back to your host, Jim Fried.
We're back on with our stellar cast of people involved with technology. Andre Senni, Jennifer Wolllmann from the Miami Realtors, Saul Klein, original realtor, first guy to post on the internet, Olivia Ramos, thought leader and entrepreneur, and Rebecca Carlson, the giggliest voice on radio. So let's start with Rebecca this time. Rebecca, Jennifer was giving you a high five because you work a lot with the realtors here in Miami. You speak a lot of their events. What is it that you're doing that appeals to a realtor or a professional in the commercial real estate field, and how do you make their life easier?
Well, thank you, Jim. I have had the opportunity to talk to Jennifer and to work with some of the real estate companies in your market, which is a huge privilege and a blessing to me and to my team. One of the things that I think, one of the areas where technology in particular is impacting brokers on commercial and the residential side as well, is as they adopt to different technologies, they discover that the consumer expectation, as Saul pointed out, has changed of what consumers expect to see and what kind of reporting they're expecting from their marketing. And it's actually something that I wanted to ask Jennifer about as far as best practices go, what she's seeing that their clients, particularly there in Miami, are expecting to see as far as reporting goes, because as brokers, we're all diving into platforms and we're making sure that we're adept in technology. But suddenly our clients are more sophisticated and they're really expecting to see reports of that. So what does that entail for a broker there in Miami?
Excellent.
So they want to see, if they're looking at any property, they want to see zoning, which is why we do so much with the live-ins and D blocks. They want to see zoning. They want to know, what can I put here? Not only what is on here and what the current returns are, but what can I put on here moving forward? So a lot of them want to see that. A lot of them, if they're sellers, they want to see where our buyers are coming from. And that's one thing that Miami, we have 223 different global relationships with other associations around the world. And because we have an incredible news machine with all of our data and stats, we can see who's looking and where they're looking from. So we can see that the number of people in London looking for hotels on Miami Beach, so that allows the seller to say, okay, so how are you going to target your marketing to that specific demographic? So just that amount of data, they do want to get that specific. In the United States, where are the buyers? Where are the investors coming from? And what type of property are they looking for? So again, we have that information. So that's not only good for our buyers and sellers, it's also great for our members because it allows them to target market very, very specifically to say, okay, I have 3 acres of land for sale. I know that the number one area looking for land on our commercial MLS is out of Chicago. So we're going to target Chicago and we're going to spend ad money in Chicago.
So when you have Olivia come and speak with the realtors, what is it that you typically talk about, Olivia? And how receptive are the realtors to your new technology? Are they early adopters or are they difficult to deal with?
Well, thank you, Jim, for having me. Thank you, Andreas, for having me. Thank you, Jennifer and Saul. I've been working with the board for quite a bit now, and I'm super impressed. For example, one of the most impressive things is how the leaders adopted the technology to really understand what we bring on board. So it's not just bringing technology on board, but also using it and then being able to tell the network how to use it and why it's important. And as Jennifer mentioned, one of our biggest focus is bringing transparency in zoning, and not only the data, but the ability to very quickly model it and transform that into a back of the envelope analysis. It's important for the broker to understand, yes, there's an existing building, but if I can build 3 times as much, and this will be my return on cost, then I could sell it differently. There's equity already in that piece of land because of it. And that's some of the things that we're seeing the most, both through our app and through our free application. Especially.
So you can so a broker can use your app and can generate the sophisticated reports that Rebecca was talking about?
They can, like Jennifer said, one of the biggest questions is, where are you looking? What are you seeing? So brokers can drive around and instantly select in the app any property that they're looking at physically and see what they could build. So they can quickly imagine and create a narrative around what's possible. And that instant information makes it really valuable.
Yeah, but can't they download into a written format that they can use as a report?
Absolutely, yeah. There's a 3-pager PDF that could be downloaded. It could be shared. And again, the free software kind of combines all the tools. And, talking about the future, we look a lot at the stock market and the trajectory of the stock market and what they've done with data and what they've done with these tools. Currently, Robinhood came out, and now anybody could trade in the stock market. And I think those are things to watch out for in the real estate world as well, and adopting tools early and not thinking that, you're always going to be the person to go to is really smart. And I think the Miami Realtors Association is doing a really good job at preparing the brokers for that.
Saul, if I opened up your briefcase, what is the most important app that you would have in your briefcase right now? What is the app, is the technology that you can't live without? And it has have nothing to do with health and wellness. It has to do with business.
Yeah. So I spend a lot of time in the social media apps just because I am very interested in what people do, how they do it, what they say, how they communicate. I'd like to make a book recommendation. The Hype Machine by Sanan Aral, The Hype Machine. He has an incredible background, incredible history, the way he puts it together and really explains what social media is. And it's the network, and you guys are familiar with the network effect and what the social media platforms are today really is a giant social network. And he uses this phrase at population scale. And so the data that gets collected and everything around that is just fascinating. So for me, I'm studying and have been since 1995 or so when we started to use email for online community listservs, and it's progressed to where it is today. So I'm intensely interested in that, and everything that you guys are doing, it plays right into that. Alvin Toffler wrote in Power Shift, information is the currency of the 21st century. Information is the currency of the 21st. Now, he wrote that back in the 70s and 80s. And today, though, what you're talking about is consumers who want more. What do they really want? They want information. And what is the information for the people who provide it? It really is currency. It's value added. It all ties together. And how do you keep up with that if you're a realtor? There's no way you can keep up with all the technology, platform, what kind of platform, marketplace, equity, and how does all that work? And that's where something like the Miami Association of Realtors, which does this amazing job, really, and I know associations of realtors, to bring in and give people the choice and the opportunity to be able to adopt some of these great tools so that they're still relevant in their marketplace.
It's very difficult to remain relevant in the marketplace as time goes on. People are going to rely on their historic relationships more and more. And in the world today, as people are unfortunately required to be more remote than they would be, it's impossible to network in a way other than electronically. Rebecca, you've been working with me to network electronically. We talked a little bit about the reports that Rebecca puts together, how important they are to the realtors. Saul talked about how the information is currency. How do you create money with your information? You've got 5 seconds.
Who was that to, Jim?
That was to Rebecca. Rebecca, how do you create money with information? Go.
You need information to do deals, Jim.
There you go. That's exactly right. And as Saul said, the information is currency. That's what it is. And today, it's the basic cost of entering. You can't enter the discussion if you don't have that baseline information. And the baseline information of your network and who's in it is extraordinarily important. And the ability to reach the network is what CRECo.ai does. You wondered how I was going to get back to you, didn't you, Andres?
I always appreciate it. Well, we surface the right information at the right time. And to Saul's earlier point, how do you stay relevant, or how are you going to be relevant in 5 years? I think that's going to shrink down to 5 minutes tomorrow. The time of evolution is growing, it's shortening, and it's accelerating. CRECo.ai services the right information at the right time based on our industry knowledge, based on our learnings, based on predictive analytics, to take Olivia, to take Miami, to take all of the information that individual practitioners find important, Because make no mistake, we each do business a little differently. There's a subset of data that I provide to my clientele that they want, that they find valuable because of my knowledge. And because of that, we have different variations of a platform that gives it all to them in a single source of truth based on platforms like Olivia's and others, based on feeds like MIAMI and others. It's a matter of collecting it, to Becca's point, having it, and then distributing. And that's where we come in with a collaborative platform, a 2.0 technology that really just acts as a middleware for everyone else on this call to connect and facilitate.
Middleware. I like that. Middleware. We're going to come back in a minute. We're going to pick up with middleware. That's like hanging like the pregnant pause in the room there. Rebecca can't take it anymore. Rebecca, you can laugh. It's okay. You laugh. It's the best part of the show. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, now that we got Rebecca to laugh live, we're going to go to Reagan. We're going to get some more positive energy music. I'll be back with the panel. We're going to talk about how to use all this to make money after this. Everybody, we're South Florida's longest running business talk show. We don't do politics here, so you're safe. That's right, this is your safe space today. No politics. All right, we are South Florida's longest running business talk show, like I said, and our sponsors are Warren Henry Automotive. We're members of the Warren Henry family, and you should be too. Why? Well, because when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you check out Warren Henry, Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar here in South Florida. Up in Gainesville, they sell out east down in the Keys. They've got all the different name brands down there. What do they have in common? Well, they're all great cars, and they come with a list of things called the Warren Henry Advantage. I've got to read the paper, sorry. Complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, and the 72-hour exchange routine. 3 days to decide if you like your car. You will. They're tremendous cars. Had one since the early 90s. So join me, my mom, and my beautiful wife, Vivian. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price, always the best service, always. You got it. Warren Henry. Love always wins, at least at my house. That's the best time of the day, is the end of the day when we give hugs and kisses out in the morning or during lunch or at night. It's always a good time for love, right? You got it. It's also a good time to give me a call at 305-773-6300. There's still time to close your commercial bridge loan or your residential mortgage. Call me at 305-773-6300. We're doing deals with people that don't have W-2s, that have capital gains. It's not easy. We help them craft their application. We get it to the right lender. It's not the same lender every time. And then we get it through the eye of the needle so that they can take advantage of today's historic interest rates. Developers, we got them. Brokers, we got them. Realtors, doing loans for them too. Dentists, doctors, lawyers, everybody. Call me. I'm doing loans for people that are sending me referrals. We just got a person that was a speech pathologist. It's tremendous. I feel so good helping people. My brand is that I self-actualize by helping other people achieve their dreams. So call me so I can help you achieve yours at 305-773-6300. Why? Because when you call me, it is always all about you.
Welcome back to Freedon Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freedon Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
I love doing those commercials. They make me go through in my mind what I like to do and how I do it. It's fresh each time. I hope you can really appreciate that. It's tremendous. I love talking direct. Now we're back on. It's our technology show. It's our second half. It's always co-hosted every month by Andre Seni. He always brings the marketing guru, Rebecca Carlson, on, and our tech founder, Olivia Ramos. Today we've got Jennifer Wolllmann. She's the president of the MIAMI Board of Realtors, and Saul Klein, the original realtor. I just had to do it, Saul. You are baseline, buddy. And of course, Reagan Mendoza piloting the show. Andres, what's your question for the panel?
Well, so Jennifer is board chairman, not president, because we still have Teresa, I believe. Can't forget her. Who is a blessing to Saul's earlier point.
Promotions.
Here, my question to the board is Saul's original question: how do we stay relevant? How do we present the most information? And I think to answer my own question is to always be of service. So how are we continuing to be of service with technology?
It's all about
Jennifer, how are you? How is your team, your business, your realtor doing that? How's Miami helping? And Saul, the same.
It's all about them. And I think that Jennifer is going to start by saying in her role that what they do is they provide services to the realtors so they can provide services to their clients. Jennifer, who's your customer and how do you serve them?
So our customer at the association are our 50,000 members, right? And we serve them mostly through the relationships that we build as an association. And I find that really great that you had said that as well, that it's all about them, right, Jim? So even though there's a lot of technology involved and there's going to be even more and more involved as we move forward, as Andreas had said, that the relationships are still the base of everything, right? You tend to do business with people you know and trust. With all the information out there, people need people who can summarize the information, take out the stuff that's irrelevant, et cetera. And that's what we do as an association. We have relationships all over the world, all over the country, all over Miami. We have our listings up on the Beacon Council. So when companies are thinking of moving here, all of our commercial listings are up at the Beacon Council's website. Same thing with FP&L's website. So I think that really helps our members in a couple of ways. One, it puts them out as the expert in real estate for Miami-Dade County, whether they're residential or commercial. Their listings go, literally everywhere. We feed our commercial listings into, I want to say, at least 6 or 7 different portals. So all you have to do is input your listing once and it goes viral, right? So you don't need to do anything there. But at the end of the day, we educate our members on all the different technologies that we have. We educate them on how to stay relevant in a time of coronavirus where everybody's on Zoom. We were able to pivot extremely rapidly, again, because of the vision that our leaders had in the past and embracing technology at a very early stage. We already had something called Miami Live, where we were recording every single class. And we were then putting those on. So if somebody didn't have time to attend a class, but it was an issue that they wanted to learn more about, they could attend at a time that was convenient. We haven't changed that. We're now doing that with all of our Zoom, trainings, all of our Zoom conferences, et cetera. So I think that's how we keep our members relevant to the consumers. We just provide them with a ton of information, make it easy for them to get that information out to their clients.
Saul, what do you think is the most important information that a realtor can get to their client? What do you think?
Wow. So there's the property itself and the property information, and then there's all the information around the property, and then there are the stories all around that. So which one is the most important? That's a tough question. So it's almost like the value, that's part of the beauty of the technology is it lets you address the long tail. It lets you find the right buyer, lets you find the seller based on all this information. And how do you, if you're coming into the business, if you're in the business, how do you even learn which technologies can help you do that? And the answer is your association, because they've vetted all these different companies. As a matter of fact, they probably work directly with the technology you use the most, which is the MLS, and certain of those products integrate with the MLSs. And so where do you, the real piece of value, I think, that an association of realtors brings to its membership today is that vetting, the understanding what's going on in the marketplace and being able to deliver that the way the Miami Association does. So there's a lot of information, and which is the most valuable? It's going to depend, but you have access to it.
That's the answer. The answer is it depends. The answer is it depends. I always give these really tough questions, Saul, but that lets you go far afield and stuff. And Andreas, the answer is really CRECo.ai. How does CRECo.ai answer that question?
We're a search one and done platform providing technology advisory. Not all of us have access to great associations like Miami. We're not in Miami. There are other markets all across the U.S., especially the independent, small to mid-sized companies out there. Come talk to us. We'll solve your problem. 6-7 years ago, there were 80 technologies. There are now 8,000. As Saul pointed out, as Jennifer pointed out, as Olivia pointed out, how do you track them all? You don't. You let people like the association lead. You look for best in breed, and then you let companies like mine or leaders, IT departments, integrated data scientists come in and do it for you. We are that enablement service.
Now, Olivia, how do people interface with you that are outside the market and learn about you? I guess for me, the question is, how does a prop tech founder get the word out?
Well, we're one of the platforms that are hosting the MLS data, and we're hosting the listings. So we're hoping that we're helping in making that information viral. But also something that Saul mentioned before is, what is this other data that it's hard to get and it's hard to sell? And we have a series of neural network and language models to bring in data from social media, especially. For example, there are academic papers by Harvard School of Business showing that spikes in Yelp reviews show shifts in entire neighborhoods. So these are things that we're tracking, and we're using natural language algorithms to also understand not just the spikes, but what is the conversation. And I think, it's amazing that Saul's been following this for so long. We're now getting into it. And not only do you have the listing from the MLS, but then what is going on in the population around it, and how does that change over time? Okay,
hold on right there. Okay, so this is tremendous. And I said we were the no politics zone, so let's talk politics. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Olivia, one of the things in the general election in Florida, they said is that Miami-Dade overperformed, that Miami-Dade turned Hispanic. What I've observed, now I'm coming back to real estate, what I've observed is that there's been a migration from one county to another. As the minority community was priced out of Miami-Dade County, they moved to Miramar. That's why the president had all the things in Miramar. So my question to you is there a technology that can follow and project those demographic trends? Because what's really happening is that the African-American community is being crowded out.
So absolutely. In fact, we just launched last week a new feature that is a series of historical graphs, includes population density, includes the change in rents over time, the change in employment over time. And we're going to start including the spikes of these social media components and the words that are found in that. So and it's done by census tracts. So you could see how one census tract is performing over the last 10 years, over the last 5 years, and very quickly see the trends of a potential growth or a potential decline in certain types of demographics.
So you're using keyword identification by your AI, whatever you call them, scraper things, to find out the hot words that are, and I'll make it up, Edgewater, hot neighborhood on the water in Miami. And now I can see that because they're talking about Paraíso a lot, I know that people are hot to do units in Paraíso, which is what the realtors want to know.
Yes, that's one good example, or scraping the news to see if there are new projects or new things coming in and putting that on a layer. But more specifically, in terms of demographic, that's taken from the census tract, that's taken from government sources and open source data to understand those shifts as well. So there's kind of an informal data set and a very formal data set. And combined, I think, could be very powerful. Yes, done.
All right. So we're going to take a break. How am I doing, Saul, by the way, for a real analog person? Am I asking good questions?
Well, you're right on track.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Keep texting me those questions, Saul. Now we'll be right back. We're going to have great information. We're going to sum it up all right here. We're going to talk about the best practices and the best things to do in the next couple of minutes, right after I sell a couple of cars for Warren Henry. So Reagan, this is where I say, take it away. All right, everybody, welcome to South Florida's longest running business talk show. I want to thank all of our guests. I want to thank our big sponsor, Warren Henry Automotive, who's been with us since the summer of 2012. I want to thank Larry. I want to thank Eric. I want to thank Warren. And I want to say high five to Courtney and her beautiful kid. Now, remember, when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry. Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar. They've got all the great cars. I love all those cars. I always go try them all out and always end up with an Infiniti. Up in Gainesville, they sell Audi. I'm going to travel up there and try the Audis. Down in the Keys, they got them all. I'm thinking about maybe getting a Jeep, too. They got that down in the Keys. In any event, they're all great cars, and they all come with a list of things that we call the Warren Henry Advantage. That means you get complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel. In fact, they delivered the service loaner to our house and picked up the car when they were. It was great. Dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, and my favorite, the 72-hour exchange. You can take 3 days to decide whether you like your car or not. Promise you, you will. Join me, my friends, my beautiful wife, Vivian. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry.
This is Becca Carlson from Carlson Integrated. You know, a lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. We are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
I'm just so excited because I figured it out. I figured out what the technology that we're going to talk about in the fourth quarter is and what's the most important. It's right there on the sticky. Oh, it's going to be tremendous. I faked it. Boom, it hit me just like that. You know what else hit me like that? My idea to do residential mortgages. I pivoted right to it when the economy went in the tumper. And I've been helping a lot of my friends pull cash out, refi their home, which is like getting a raise. So it's tremendous. Call me. I can help you pull out money from your home. I can help you lower your monthly payment. I can help you buy that dream home. You go, well, shoot, anybody can do that. Not really. You need a special kind of mortgage loan. I mean, a loan origination license. You need experience, and you need to know the lenders because each lender is doing a different thing right now. Some lenders aren't doing anything. Some will tell you they won't do it, but then they end up doing it. You got to know how to ask, how to give them the info, how to tell the story. By the way, that's a key to what the best technology is. That's coming up in a minute. Saul already knows what I'm going to say, I'm sure. So call me at 305-773-6300. There's still time to close this year, but you got to call me. 305-773-6300 gets to me. And when you call me, it is always all about you.
Welcome back to Freedon Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freedon Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, everybody, I figured it out. I'll admit it. I always say I figured it out, and I sometimes don't, but this time I did. I have figured out in my own personal little limited universe what I think the most important prop tech is. And it's not just for prop. What it is, I think, is Zoom. I think it's the ability to project your personality across the universe to somebody else. Because after all, the information, well, that's pretty similar. The way it's presented, a few different formats. The network, well, that's yours. But the most important thing about what you have to deliver is you. The most important technology, therefore, would be Zoom, which allows you to project your personality. And you go, Jim, how'd you figure that out? I did it by watching today's episode. Saul, am I on something?
I think you are.
Oh man, the guy give me a 2-word answer. I should buy that. My gosh. Oh my gosh. Jennifer, what do you think?
I agree. Not just Zoom, but any type of video technology, right? Anything in video. Video gets so many more hits, which is why when everything shut down, people were still selling real estate because we were doing Facebook Live, we were doing LinkedIn Live, we were doing open houses live. So all the people that were stuck up in quarantine were able to look at properties anyway. Home buyers who had to make a move before a certain time frame but couldn't go out and see things safely could do it from the comfort of their home in their PJs. So I would agree with you. Video on any platform is amazing.
Well, and then you got to watch for the platform that might replace Zoom or the next platform. Right. So there'll be that kind of progression. And how do you keep up with it? Well, if you can't, you need somebody that can help you keep up with it. An organization will help you, company that'll help you keep up with it. Right. Yeah.
No, that's what my team does here. This is really my team. Here it is, full transparency. This is my team. Andreas talks to me about changes in technology. Rebecca talks to me about how to implement different social media things and timing and different ideas, because I have, my own personal group think. It's obvious that I always think I'm right, and sometimes am, sometimes not. And Olivia just keeps me honest. Olivia just asks great questions all the time. So that's my key to staying relevant and knowing the prop tech. It's having the right thought leaders surrounding me. And this is where I'm going to say it. I don't have that big an ego. I got enough of an ego to have the prop podcast and everything. But my ego isn't so big that I can't surround myself with the experts and listen to them. And you see, if you're watching the podcast, that's really the key to our podcasts here, is that we surround ourselves with experts. They give us advice, and then we listen. And then we grow together and create an even better network. My goodness, Saul, the only thing missing is a beard.
That's why I grew the beard, I'll tell you. So, what people want these things, we say, what does the consumer want? Because that's really the secret to everything. So what do they want? Well, very little changes, right? This is what they want. They want speed. They want convenience. They want choice. They want value added. They want quality. They want service. They want discounts. They want information. They want privacy. They want security. They want transparency. Now we can go on and build a list. And that's what I do, right? Is I look for keywords that help me figure out what the dots are. And then I try to connect the dots so I can see where we're going.
Right? I love this. Saul, you're tremendous. You really are. You got more hand stuff than I do.
I'm not Italian.
But you could be.
But I could be.
You could be. Now, Jennifer, kind of wrap it up for us. And let's throw it out there. You're with EWM. You're one of the top folks here in town. You run a bunch of teams. You're on a bunch of teams. What is the number one thing you're seeing in the trend for our realtors down here? And before we go any further, I want to thank you and Teresa for really setting it up and making us the leading edge in technology and connectivity. I enjoy all your events, all your stuff. It really is wonderful to be part of the community. Thank you and Teresa so much for that.
Well, thank you for having us, and thank you for everything that you do and for sharing, right? So if you have all the information and you have the network and you have the ideas, but you don't share that, then that's an issue too, right? Because that's how we all get better. And that's what's so great about everybody who's on this podcast right now, is that everybody's willing to share what they know. I'm sorry. And with that, I kind of blanked out on the question.
Don't worry. You did great on the question. The question was, how does your team use technology today to amplify their message and reach their clients?
I think we use it to build relationships and to stay connected. I think that's the main way that we use it. And again, kind of to Saul and Olivia's point that everybody uses data a little bit differently depending on who your audience is. The same holds true for our members. So I think what the association does is we use technology to keep our members relevant. We do go through all of the hard scrubbing and the testing, so they don't have to look at 150 products. They can look at the ones that we chose, that we have relationships with. They can get training on those technologies, and then they can decide whether or not it works for them and which ones they want to adopt. Because again, the only technology that's any good is the one that you're actually going to use.
I remember when you guys brought IMAP. People don't even remember. You remember, you're looking cracking up. You're cracking up. I went and looked for shopping centers like 15 years ago, whatever it was, and the only county in the world that you could point and click and find the owner was Pinellas County. I had to say Pinellas because it was long time ago. Now you can do it everywhere with everything. So Saul, just like you, I've been there since the beginning. I also had one of the original LoopNet listings. So, you know, you got to try it out. You got to see what works for you. But I'm gonna refer to my favorite marketing rabbi. And Saul, you can be the real estate rabbi with your beard. You got that. Hashtag real estate rabbi is Saul Klein. Okay. But, you know, Bruce Turkel is the one, and you know Bruce, Jennifer. Bruce Turkel, that's where it's all about them came from. He's a regular guest on the show. He is my guru and my mentor on this. And it is always, always all about the other person, as long as I can keep myself under control. You know, you always still got to have self-control, and sometimes that's a little difficult. But I want to thank everybody for being on. It was a tremendous show. I'm going to toss it to Andre to kind of pull it all together and wrap it up. And I want to thank Rebecca for, if nothing else, bringing her tremendous laugh to the show.
Thank you, Jim.
I know how to farm for that.
Thank you, everyone. To the point, collaboration, and in the word, connectivity, to Saul's point. Education from Miami, connectivity, collaboration, CREcollaborative.com. That's who we are. That's what we do. Thank you for having me. Thank you for joining us. And Olivia, Rebecca, Jennifer, Saul, Regan, what a show. And Jim, thank you for hosting us and always bringing so much positive energy to my day every day.
I love you all. You know, we didn't even talk about our social media stuff that we do and how we amplify our voice. We'll have to do that on our show that we're going to do before Christmas, before Thanksgiving. I'm teasing that. Reagan and I are going to be on talking about how we market the Freedom Business Show, and me. I'm going to let them demonstrate their thing and how great they are. I want to personally thank Saul Klein. Saul, thank you. I want to dress up as Saul for Halloween next year. Jennifer, thank you so much for all the leadership and positive vibes you bring, all the programming, all the great stuff. It is, I'm going to say it, wonderful to be a member of the Miami Board of Realtors. Thank you so much for all you do for our community of 50,000 people and growing.
Yes.
Olivia, my thought leader. I love you. Thank you for keeping me honest. Rebecca, the giggle, and Andreas, thanks for being my guide and my mentor in technology. So this is where I wrap up the show. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank our first responders. Today, I want to thank all the people who stayed up all night long to tell us the election wasn't over. I want to thank the first responders, the healthcare heroes, all the great people in the world, all the people that take care of people. I want to thank all the people that are kind to me every day. Thank you to our sponsors, Warren Henry Automotive, CRECo.ai, Carlson Integrated, Turkel Brands, and I want to thank the Bergstrom Center for Real Estate Studies. I want to thank our listeners and viewers. There's thousands every week. Go to our Facebook page, LinkedIn, Twitter. I got it all. Join our community, all the different stuff. If you missed today's show, Reagan will have it up on Freedom Business by Friday. I post a perfect look on Saturday. Next week, Wednesday at noon, we'll be on with more great information. I'm still trying to figure out what we're talking about. Rebecca will remind me after the show. Remember, the person who wants to do something finds a way, the other finds an excuse. Now go out there and make it happen. God bless you, and God bless America.